When we walk into a grocery store, the math in our heads is like incredibly simple.
Oh, yeah, totally primal.
Right. It's like our lizard brain is just taking over. You look at two identical apples sitting next to each other, and your hand just automatically reaches for the cheaper one.
It's a binary choice. I mean, cheaper is just better.
Exactly. It's clean, it makes complete sense, and it requires zero mental energy.
And it's an automatic reflex because we're wired to look for the baseline. We like knowing exactly what a commodity is worth.
Right.
If something is just a basic necessity, we absolutely refuse to overpay for it. It feels like a small victory to save those few cents.
But then you step out of the grocery store and into the world of premium services or specialized skills, and suddenly that simple primal math just completely shatters.
It really does. It goes right out the window.
You look at the pricing landscape for, say, consultants or high-end freelancers, and it's a total mind bender. We see people charging 10 times the market rate, and somehow they have a wait list a mile long.
It is the absolute definition of a pricing paradox. In those specific arenas, charging more can actually make people, substantially more likely to buy.
Wait, really? That breaks all the traditional rules of supply and demand.
Completely breaks them. It goes against everything we get taught in Economics 101.
Which is exactly what we're unpacking today. Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're looking at a framework designed by Alex Hormozi from his book, $100 Mover Offers.
Such a fascinating read.
It really is. And the core premise here is learning how to construct business offers that are so overwhelmingly compelling, your potential clients actually feel stupid saying no to them.
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal.
And I want to talk directly to you listening right now. Whether you're an entrepreneur trying to scale, a freelancer trying to land better clients, or honestly, just someone pitching a new project to your boss.
Right, it applies to everyone.
Understanding the actual mechanics of value versus price is going to fundamentally change how you present your skills to the world.
It requires a massive paradigm shift, honestly. It moves you away from that desperate feeling of competing for scraps,
Oh, for sure.
And it puts you in a position where you are dictating the terms based on the unique value you bring to the table.
And Hormozi makes this incredibly bold claim right out of the gate. He argues that if you structure your offer correctly, you can generate so much profit that your own parents might start questioning if what you're doing is legal.
Which is quite the teaser.
Seriously. So let's explore how to build these premium offers. We're going to break down the 4 specific drivers of human value and look at this fascinating concept of psychological solutions.
I love that part.
Me too. But before we can build this ultimate premium offer, we have to understand the trap most people fall into first.
The commodity trap.
Yes, exactly.
This is the baseline struggle. If you look at most independent business owners, they usually face 2 glaring problems. They don't have enough clients, and they don't have enough profit left over to actually grow.
They're just surviving.
Right. And the default human reaction to that survival panic is almost always the same.
Let me guess. They look at their competitors and think, if I just lower my price by 10%, I'll be the cheapest option.
Exactly. Everyone will flock to me, which is a fatal miscalculation.
Because it's the price drop trap, right?
Yeah, that strategy only works if you're selling apples. If you are selling a true commodity, a product that is widely available in seemingly identical quality from dozens of other places,
then yes, the client just swaps to the cheapest provider.
But if you try to do that with a service, you are forcing yourself into a race to the bottom. And if you win the race to the bottom, your prize is bankruptcy.
Right, you're competing on price instead of value, so your margins just vanish.
Poof, gone.
So the goal is to avoid being commoditized entirely. You have to create something so differentiated that it can't even be compared to the guy down the street.
You have to pull yourself off the commodity shelf.
Let's map this out with a concrete example from the framework. Looking at weight loss coaching. Picture offer A. I come to you and say, I offer online weight loss coaching. It's $1,000 up front plus $500 a month for weekly check-in calls.
It's totally standard. It's an apple.
Just a shiny green apple.
And as a consumer, I hear that and my brain immediately goes to work comparing it. I think, well, the trainer at my local gym only charges $400 a month and the app on my phone is only $20.
Exactly. The perceived value of your offer is just, average. And the friction of paying that much is high.
Right.
Okay, now let's look at offer B, the highly differentiated version. I come to you and say, I am offering a total physical transformation. You pay one time.
Okay, I'm listening.
0 recurring monthly fees. And here's the kicker. You only pay me if you actually see results. I guarantee you will lose 5 kilograms in your first month, or your second month of coaching is entirely free. Furthermore, I'm not just giving you workouts. You get a personalized exercise program, a custom app that tracks local grocery store sales, automated shopping lists, and I am personally available 24/7 on text message.
I mean, if you put a customer in a room and ask them to choose between offer A and offer B, it's not even a contest.
No, they choose B every single time.
Yeah.
Because price is what you pay, but value is what you get.
And what's really happening psychologically there's a shift in the purchasing decision. When your product looks like absolutely nothing else on the market, when you add all those crazy guarantees and custom tools.
The prospect can no longer compare prices, right?
Exactly. You've removed yourself from the commodity shelf. You are selling in a vacuum now.
So the choice in their mind is no longer between your product and a competitor's product. The choice is between your product and staying exactly the way they are.
Precisely.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second, because I'm putting myself in the listener's shoes right now, and I'm feeling a little anxious.
That's fair.
If I take my standard, comfortable offer, pack it full of these wild guarantees, add 24/7 tech support, and then raise my prices sky high to cover all that extra labor, I mean, won't I just alienate 90% of my potential market?
You absolutely will.
Wait, really? But that feels incredibly risky. Like business suicide?
It feels risky, and that fear of rejection is completely understandable, but this brings up a fundamental misunderstanding of what a business is actually supposed to do.
Which is what?
The goal of a business isn't to get the maximum number of human beings to purchase something. The goal is to generate sustainable profit.
Right, so it's about the bottom line, not winning a popularity contest.
Exactly. Think about the luxury fashion industry. Look at a Prada handbag. A completely logical person might look at a Prada bag and think, I cannot fathom why anyone would pay $4,000 for some stitched leather and a tiny metal logo.
Yeah, my dad would definitely say that.
But Prada doesn't care if that logical person walks away. The person who does buy that bag deeply believes that the value, the status, the exclusivity is entirely worth that premium price.
So Prada actively chooses to sell to far fewer people.
Yes, but because their profit margin is massive, the business is incredibly healthy.
And there is a really counterintuitive point in the framework about what happens to the customer when they pay those premium prices.
Yeah.
Raising your prices actually increases the client's emotional investment in the process.
That is so key. If we look at the psychology of commitment, especially in fields like consulting, therapy, or fitness, where the product only works if the client actually puts in effort.
Right, you can't do the push-ups for them.
Exactly. In those cases, price acts as a filter. If someone pays $20 for a PDF workout plan, they have no skin in the game. The moment they feel tired, they quit.
Because the pain of losing $20 is way less than the pain of waking up at 5 a.m.
But if they pay $5,000 for a premium coaching program, they are heavily emotionally invested.
They're going to show up to every meeting.
They'll do every assignment and follow the plan flawlessly because they cannot stomach the idea of wasting $5,000.
Which means they get far better results.
Exactly. And because they paid a premium, you, the business owner, now have the capital to hire better support staff, build better software, and provide an even better experience.
It creates a self-sustaining snowball of quality. I love that. So we established that we have to escape the commodity trap, and we do that by differentiating and charging premium prices.
Step 1 complete.
But that begs the obvious question, right? How do we objectively justify those prices to a skeptical customer? How do we prove that this abstract concept of value is actually real?
This is where Hormozi breaks it down mathematically into 4 specific variables. This is how you actually engineer value.
Okay, let's get tactical.
You can think of value as a fraction. On the top of the fraction, you have 2 positive drivers that you want to increase as much as humanly possible.
Okay.
On the bottom of the fraction, you have 2 negative drivers that you want to shrink down to 0.
Let's start with the top of the fraction. The first positive driver is the dream outcome.
Yes, this is understanding what the customer is actually trying to buy. You aren't selling the plane ticket. You are selling the feeling of the sand between their toes on the beach.
You aren't selling a 12-week gym membership. You're selling the confidence they'll feel when they take their shirt off at the pool.
Exactly. You aren't selling a dense, boring Spanish grammar course. You are selling the ability to travel to Madrid, sit at a cafe, and effortlessly laugh and joke with the locals.
You have to articulate their deepest desires so perfectly that they feel entirely understood.
But just promising a dream isn't enough.
Right, because anyone on the internet can promise me the moon. I see ads for get-rich-quick schemes every day, and I don't buy them because I just don't believe them.
Which is why the second positive driver is so crucial. The perceived likelihood of achievement. Let's just call it certainty.
Certainty, got it.
The prospect needs to look at your offer, look at your guarantees, and feel absolutely mathematically certain that it is going to work for them specifically.
There's a fantastic analogy in the book for this. When you go to the store and buy your absolute favorite candy bar, how certain are you that it's going to taste good when you open the wrapper?
You are completely certain. There isn't a single shred of doubt in your mind.
That is the level of certainty you are trying to engineer for your service.
Yes. You want the dream outcome and the certainty pushing the top of that value fraction as high as it will go.
But here's where it gets really interesting. It's like a seesaw. Even if you have those two positive things pushing the value up into the sky, you have two negative drivers pulling it down into the mud.
The anchor's dragging it down.
Yeah. The first negative driver on the bottom of the fraction is time delay.
Time delay is the gap between the exact moment they hand over their credit card and the moment they actually experience the result.
And time is friction.
And modern consumers despise friction. People will pay absurd, seemingly irrational amounts of money just for speed.
It's why Amazon spends billions of dollars developing drone delivery systems. It's why a business traveler will pay $600 for a 2-hour flight rather than paying $40 to sit on a Greyhound bus for 3 days.
The destination is exactly the same, but the time delay is drastically different.
But this poses a challenge for a lot of professionals. What if the service you provide inherently takes time? Like you can't safely help someone lose 50 pounds in 24 hours.
Or a business consultant can't double a company's revenue overnight. It's impossible.
So how do you solve that? Do you just accept that your value is lower?
Not at all. If the ultimate dream outcome requires a long time horizon, you have to engineer immediate short-term wins into the process.
Oh, interesting.
Like if someone signs up for a 6-month weight loss program, they should receive an incredible onboarding package within 5 minutes.
Right, give them something tangible immediately.
Yeah. And by the next morning, they should have a specific hydration protocol that makes them feel visibly less bloated within 24 hours. You have to manufacture immediate emotional payoffs to keep their brain engaged while the long-term clock ticks down.
So keep them in the game so they don't lose faith.
Exactly.
And that leads to the final negative driver, effort and sacrifice. These are the hidden costs of doing business with you.
It's not the financial cost.
Right. It's the fact that going to the gym requires me to wake up at 5 a.m. when it's freezing outside. It means my muscles are going to ache for 3 days.
It means you have to give up eating pizza on Friday nights.
Which is the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
And if you want to understand just how powerful the desire to avoid effort is, look at the medical procedure of liposuction.
Oh, that's the perfect example.
It is a massively popular, ultra-premium alternative to a $100 gym membership. Why will someone pay $10,000 for surgery instead of $100 for a gym?
Because liposuction completely removes the effort. It removes the cold mornings and the sore muscles entirely.
Human beings are profoundly inherently lazy. And I don't even mean it as a criticism. It's an evolutionary fact. We just want to conserve energy.
It's survival. So we will pay almost anything to eliminate effort. If you can deliver the same result as your competitor, but with less time and less effort required from the client, you essentially hold the keys to the kingdom.
You can charge whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tracking with you.
Mm.
We want the time delay and the effort to be as close to zero as possible.
Yes.
But physically doing that, like inventing a magic pill that causes instant weight loss without diet or exercise, is practically impossible. I can't break the laws of physics. So how do we solve a physical limitation?
This is where we shift from traditional business thinking to psychological engineering. We have to look at the difference between logical solutions and psychological solutions.
Let's get into this. This is the secret weapon.
It really is. When a business tries to reduce time and effort, their default instinct is almost always a logical solution. These are physical, engineering-based, mechanical fixes.
But they're usually incredibly expensive and yield diminishing returns.
The framework uses a brilliant example regarding elevators. Imagine you own a high-rise office building, and the tenants are furiously complaining that the elevator is way too slow.
The wait is agonizing.
Right. A logical solution would be to hire an elite engineering firm, tear out the existing elevator shafts, install bigger motors, and physically build a faster elevator.
Which would cost millions of dollars, shut down the lobby for a month, and at the end of the day, it might shave, what, 4 seconds off the total ride time.
Exactly. It's a massive physical expense for a tiny functional gain. But the psychological solution.
Tell me.
You hire a contractor for a few $100s to install tall, beautiful mirrors inside the elevator car and next to the doors on every floor.
Okay.
Now, when people walk up to the elevator, they start looking at themselves. They fix their hair, they adjust their tie, they check their makeup.
Suddenly they're totally distracted.
The physical time delay is exactly the same. The elevator isn't moving 1 millimeter faster, but the perceived time delay just dropped to almost zero because they weren't paying attention.
The public transit industry uses this same concept, actually. If commuters are anxious and angry about waiting for subway trains, the logical solution is to lay new tracks and buy faster trains.
That's a $10 billion infrastructure project right there.
But the psychological solution is to spend a fraction of that money installing digital clocks on the platforms that simply count down exactly when the next train will arrive. Train arriving in 3 minutes.
Yes. But I know what you're going to say next.
Yeah, I have to challenge this. Let's really dig into it. Isn't a psychological solution just a cheap trick? We aren't actually solving the customer's core complaint about the slow elevator machinery. We're just distracting them with a shiny object.
Right.
How does that justify charging a premium price or claiming we added value?
That is a very common pushback, but it requires us to really reconsider what the problem actually is. Value is entirely subjective. It's based completely on the customer's experience of the friction.
Okay, go on.
The customer's actual problem isn't the physical velocity of the elevator car. Their problem is the internal emotional feeling of boredom, impatience, and frustration.
Ah, I see.
If the perceived pain of waiting is eliminated by the mirror or the countdown clock, the value delivered to their nervous system is functionally identical to the million-dollar engineering fix. Perception is reality in economics.
That is absolutely fascinating. If you change how they experience the wait, you've solved the wait. And for a business owner, a psychological solution is infinitely more scalable.
So true. Your competitors are going bankrupt trying to build faster trains, and you're just putting up a countdown clock.
I love that. Okay, so how do we actually apply this? How do we synthesize these 4 drivers and these psychological tools into a tangible product?
Time to build the offer.
All right, I'm sitting at my desk with a blank piece of paper. Where do I even begin? I assume I can't just start throwing random features at a wall and hoping they stick.
No, you have to start at the absolute finish line. You define the dream outcome first. But, and this is key, it must be realistic.
Like you can't ethically promise a client they will learn to speak fluent Mandarin in 3 days.
Exactly. A realistic, highly desirable dream outcome would be lose 14 kilograms in 7 weeks without giving up carbohydrates. It's specific, and if you have the expertise, it's achievable.
Okay, so I know where the finish line is, then what?
Then you have to map the friction. You brainstorm every single obstacle, pothole, and frustrating moment the customer will face on the journey from where they are to that finish line.
You must be brutally detailed here, right?
Brutally. Don't just write eating less is hard. Dig into the psychology. Buying healthy food is intimidating because I don't know what to look for.
Or cooking takes too much time after a long day at work.
I hate how tight gym clothes feel on my body right now. I feel self-conscious when fit people stare at me.
I'm terrified of pulling a muscle and missing work. Wow. It's an exercise in extreme empathy. You are cataloging all their anxieties.
You really are.
So I have this massive, depressing list of complaints. What do I do with them?
You flip them. You take every single problem and turn it into a solution statement. Buying healthy food is intimidating becomes how to make grocery shopping easy, fast, and enjoyable.
I'm terrified of pulling a muscle becomes how to guarantee you never get hurt while exercising.
Exactly. You're defining exactly what needs to be solved.
Which naturally leads to brainstorming the delivery vehicles. This is where you figure out how to fulfill those solution statements.
And this is the fun part.
Because from what I gather in the framework, you are supposed to hold back here.
Yeah.
You brainstorm every possible way to deliver this solution, even if the idea is completely unhinged.
You need to push the boundaries to see what's possible. If the problem is that shopping for healthy food is confusing, your delivery vehicles could range from a simple PDF guide to physically meeting them at the grocery store and walking the aisles with them.
Or, and this is my favorite extreme example to illustrate the point, I will literally move into your guest bedroom, sleep on your couch, cook every single meal for you, and stand next to you while you lift weights so you never get hurt.
Which is obviously absurd.
Completely absurd.
But it serves a purpose. Moving into the client's house is incredibly high value for them. Their certainty of success would be 100%, and their effort would be 0.
But the cost to you, the provider, is catastrophic. You can't scale a business if you move in with your clients.
So that's the filter. You look at that wild list of brainstormed ideas and you start trimming. You discard the solutions that are low value to the customer, and you discard the solutions that are massively high cost to you.
You are constantly looking for the sweet spot. You ask yourself, is there a lesser version of this extreme experience that I can deliver at scale?
Right. If I can't move into their house and cook for them, can I provide something almost as good?
And this is where digital products become the holy grail of premium offers.
Absolutely, because digital products solve the scalability problem perfectly.
Things like custom software apps, recorded video walkthroughs of a grocery store, downloadable meal prep calculators.
Private podcast feeds. These things have an incredibly high perceived value to the customer because they solve a specific friction point.
But once you spend the time and money to create them the very first time, the cost to duplicate them and give them to the next 1,000 clients is effectively zero.
Low cost to you, massive value to them.
So you take all these surviving, high-value, low-cost solutions and you stack them together.
The bundle.
Yes, so instead of just selling weight loss coaching for $1,000, you're offering the foolproof bargain grocery system, stacked with a one-on-one nutrition orientation.
Stacked with a recorded video tour of a grocery store showing them exactly what to buy.
Stacked with a DIY grocery calculator. Stacked with pre-made delivery cards they can just click and buy online.
When a prospect looks at a bundled stack like that, the value equation tilts massively in your favor.
The certainty driver goes through the roof because you've anticipated problems they didn't even know they had.
And the effort driver plummets because you've done all the heavy lifting for them. They look at the offer and feel like failure is practically impossible.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Basically, building a premium offer is like being a proactive architect.
That's a great way to put it.
You map out every single pothole on the customer's journey, and you build a custom, low-cost digital bridge over every single one of them until the path is so smooth, it would genuinely be irrational for them not to walk down it.
Yep. You escape the grocery store commodity trap. You utilize psychological solutions to change their perception of time and effort.
And you stack the value so high that price becomes a secondary concern.
It is a masterclass in empathy disguised as a business strategy. And I want to emphasize that this framework scales to almost any interaction.
Any interaction.
It doesn't matter if you are selling a $10,000 consulting package or if you are just sitting in a conference room pitching a new workflow to your boss. Mapping out their obstacles in advance, maximizing their certainty, and providing preemptive, low-effort solutions is the universal key to getting a yes.
You want to make your boss feel stupid for saying no.
Exactly.
But, it leaves me with this final provocative thought. We've talked deeply today about the value equation and how the ultimate goal is to bring the time delay and the effort down to zero.
The holy grail of modern business. Zero time, zero effort.
Right. But as artificial intelligence and automation continue to advance at a breakneck speed, we are rapidly approaching a world where the time and effort to do almost anything might actually hit zero.
That's a wild thought.
So when technology makes the perfectly easy, instant solution a basic commodity, what will become the next big driver of premium value?
Wow.
If effort is completely removed from the human experience, will effort itself actually become a luxury?
That is a deep question.
Something to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. See you next time.